We have risen from the ashes to school the masses. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Scholars Wrestling Show. I am your man behind the microphone, Scholar Jeff. Joining us this week, as always, the OG Undisputed Scholar himself. He is the one and only Scholar Tarek. Scholar Tarek, how you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing quite well. I This is our last episode of Scholars before Halloween. I'm super excited for that. And oh yeah, that's right. We apparently have a prediction show this weekend. Well, it's nice to know before the show starts than finding out during the show.
Yeah, it caught us all off guard here at the Scholars of Wrestling show because we're not used to actually seeing a premium live event from NXT, no less. But yeah, it's Halloween week, and we're looking at some NXT Halloween Havoc. But before we get to all that, let's continue with our introductions, including the current reigning, not quite defending Scholars of Wrestling World Champion, another of the OG undisputed scholars. He is Scholar Brian. Scholar Brian, how we doing tonight, sir?
Feeling pretty good. Sitting at the top of this mountaintop, staring down at Mr. Stain's hoodie over here, all upset because he can't get a title shot because Scholar Jeff over here uh was did pretty well at
I'm
that AEW show.
Hey, sometimes I just happen to show up and I put in a little bit of work. What can I say?
Yeah. But we've got this Halloween Havoc show coming up. Uh, Nobody defends this title at NXT shows, and I am not going to be any different.
It's okay.
So this is just a fun, relaxing episode where I'm just throwing shit at the wall, seeing what sticks, and having a good old time.
Yeah. I will happily go as much as I'm glad for my victory at this past AEW shows at Wrestle Dream. I will accept that challenge, but the challenge isn't going away anywhere. But before we get to Halloween Havoc, last but absolutely not least, we have to bring in the man himself. You know him, you love him, our favorite Resident Evil 4 cosplayer. He is Scholar Pete. Scholar Pete, what's going on over there?
Let me tell you, tag team partner, let me just tell you what an introduction it is. Ah, you are the best. But let's get back to business. I have a few things I need to talk to you gentlemen about. First being that I did watch the McMahon documentary, which I'll get to in just a moment. But it appears to me that Scholar Brian, Scholar Tark are back. And you've just been driving me nuts. So nuts. So nuts that I, friend, because you may have tied with my tag team partner, Scholar Jeff. But let me tell you, Scholar Brian, that he will become a champion. And I know my tag team partner, because he is my tag team partner, who will give me my title shot that I never lost because you forged my predictions and locked me in a basement and drove me to madness. So I say to you, sir, that Halloween Havoc, haha, mystery and spooky time, enjoy that belt. Enjoy throwing stuff at the wall because our serious combination here, the JP connection, I love it. We're going to take over. You gotta understand, we're gonna take over because I never lost that belt. I never lost it. I'm gonna fight to get my belt back because Scourge will take the belt and then I'll get my belt back. So, that being said to Scholar Brian, let's be serious now. And let's talk about the Vince McMahon documentary. Vince McMahon documentary on Netflix. Boys, I finally was able to watch, and let me tell you something. I very much enjoyed it. So much so that it was just, um, I don't want to, it's something that Bruce brings up in episode 6, where he's like, we feel like you're just attacking this man, Vince McMahon. You're just attacking him. Like, you don't know the person, Vince McMahon. But like watching the whole documentary, it didn't hit me until we got to Shane McMahon. And this was probably my favorite piece of the documentary, boys, was just the story of him wanting to get his father acceptance, for him to just make his dad proud of him, going out and then his return after so many years and the ovation. And you see that like Stephanie's wailing, and like you see his dad just being like proud to see his son come back in this big moment. And then to have the match against Taker at WrestleMania, like just that overall, how they pieced that story together, I think was the best thing of the whole documentary, in my opinion. I think, like I said, I think the documentary is a very strong. I'm going to give it a you know what? I think it's enjoyable for wrestling fans and non-wrestling fans. If you will let me, I will give it a full tiered rating on the Scholars of Wrestling. I think, like I said, I think it's a great documentary to watch. I think you should give it a chance, and it I'm curious to see how there will be a follow-up with the all the news surrounding Vince, and will there be, hey, this is part 2 to this Vince McMahon documentary, like now that here's where we're really gonna, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I've been talking too long. I apologize to my tag team partner. Take it away. Here's our hot tag. Hot tag me.
And that's
I
a
would
tag.
just like to say one thing. This is my peak achievement. I have legitimately broken a man live on podcast recording, because before before the McMahon documentary bit, I have no idea about 3/4 of what this man said in his hysterical state. Okay, this is my peak. It's been what, 10 years, 10 or 11 years. This is my peak performance, and I did nothing.
I think that registers at a 0.49 on the on the dandy scale. That's a 0.49. It's academic, but in all relative seriousness here, Pete, I'm glad you brought it up, because we did get something, even though there may not be a full update to this documentary. Like I mentioned before, I believe this to be a once in a lifetime, just everything comes together happening. But earlier this week, we did get a update that another lawsuit towards Vince McMahon and the WWE has just recently been filed. It's another lawsuit relating to the Ring Boy scandal.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, yeah, unfortunately or fortunately, no matter how you slice it, it's going to be some really unpleasant business. But hopefully, this documentary will mean more eyes on this and more justice will be done. I hope that more answers about this whole Ring Boy scandal do come out, and just making sure that this is all just, we can all officially turn the page on all of this messy nonsense, the WWE, and just enjoy wrestling again. That's it.
For me, I've already closed the book on Vince McMahon. I'm ready to move on past him. All this shit that gets updated with his when it comes either a new lawsuit or an update on the Janelle Grant uh suit, and whenever that gets out of the federal investigation, sure, I'll keep that update and see, oh, where does he go? But I'm not going to be like, I will check every waking moment to make sure I know what is going on.
Oh, for
I think
sure.
the only I think the only time I'll really focus on that is just like something big happens and then we'll discuss it here on Scholars. Um, but when it comes to just how like his impact on WWE, at least nowadays, I'm already done. I've closed the book on the Vince McMahon legacy. I've been ready to move on. And because just I keep thinking of just what he's done, not even just like all the lawsuits and all of that, all the scandals, all the controversies that he's dealt with. And this is now just looking at it as just someone who is watching a television program with watching Raw, watching SmackDown, even watching NXT during that time when he made it NXT 2.0. Uh, all I can ever think about was this man is on the verge of making me no longer a wrestling fan, making me not want to watch wrestling, makes me not want to discuss wrestling, makes me not want to do Scholars of Wrestling anymore. And the second he left, I was like, hallelujah. He came back. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. And then the whole Janelle Grant started really taking steam. And then Slim Jim was like threatening to leave. And then he was like, okay, I'm gone. Nobody there wants me back. There's no way I could see him coming back. And as soon as that happened, I'm just like, well, door closed. Thrown into an imaginary fireplace because it's an imaginary book, and I just threw absolutely nothing. I am now completely ready to move on past Vince McMahon. I'm looking to see what the future holds for WWE under TKO, under Endeavor. And when it comes to outside, just the lawsuit, I'll just, the only time it'll matter to me is when on this show. But until then, dust in the
Yeah,
wind, dude.
legitimately,
Dust, wind, dude.
the moment that the last episode ended and said Vince McMahon canceled his last interview because all the allegations came out, I was like, okay, so we're not going to get anything on that. And that's basically what everybody was watching this documentary for, to see if they would have the balls to do to say anything about that. And that's an obvious no. So it's like, yeah, the information that we got that fleshed out everything that we already knew, gave a little bit more background. Sure, that's great and all, but it's like the meat and potatoes of what we wanted, we're not ever gonna get. You're not ever gonna get a dark side of Vince McMahon, all that, because it's like it's gonna play out in real time. There's not gonna need to be a documentary. So yeah, while this was fun and all, I will agree with Pete and give it a full beard the uh just for how good the early days discussions were and fleshing out of the relationships with the kids and with Shane and Stephanie. That was good stuff, but it's like we're not going to get the meat and potatoes of what we came here for. So it, it was good for what it was, but a disappointment in the end.
It, just to be quick to add on, Scholar Brian, I mean, thank you for agreeing with a genius. I mean, again, Scholar fans, please in the comments below, please comment. We want Pete for a title match against Brian. We appreciate you over as the fans, but as the Vince McMahon documentary, he is at the end of the day just terrible. Like it shows what he's done, the lawsuits he's been in. But again, not to play devil's advocate, the man also made wrestling mainstream. And that's something that's was in itself going from buying from his father to doing what he like did. Not all of it was right, not all of it was great, but to make it a million to billion to $10 billion company is insane.
It is insane, and we also find out how he did it, which is
Well, it's 100%. But that's the business world of it. Like it's the
yeah.
cutthroat business world, but that's like it says in the documentary, goes to Shane, he's like, you have to fucking stab me. Like if you want this, like you have to stab, this is a cutthroat. You can't be a nice guy. Like you need to be cutthroat. You need to keep it business. But again, Vince clearly wasn't all up there in other aspects of his life.
Indeed. But then again, I think for at least for the time being, I think we've said enough about all there is to say about Vince McMahon and his many exploits so far. But as for right now, enough from this scary stuff. Let's talk about NXT Halloween Havoc. Are we all ready for some NXT?
Sure.
Brilliant. So with that, let's kick things off right. This is NXT Halloween Havoc 2024. Starting with our first match, we've got a spin the wheel, make the deal match where Kalani Jordan will be defending her title against one of either Fallon Henley, JC Jane, or Jasmine Nix. Name of the team is Fatal Influence, which I'm still trying. I keep wanting to call them Toxic Attraction, but obviously they're not Toxic Attraction anymore. So yeah, Fatal Influence. So for this time around, we are going to be doing something a little bit different. Not only are we going to be predicting the ultimate winner of this match, but we are going to be going to our trusty Scholars of Wrestling Wheel of Names so that every single person will get a random, whoever gets a random draw for whoever the member of Fatal Fury 2.0, City of the Wolves or whatever the name of this team is, we'll get one of those names randomly assigned to us. And if they enter the match, if they get chosen to represent the team, hey, there we go. It's an extra point for us. So with that, we have Brian. You are the not quite the defending champion, but a champion nonetheless. So
Preach, tag partner, preach.
You do have that wasn't a shot, I swear. Not this time anyway. Be that as it may, Brian, you are the champion, so you have the right of first pick or push it to the next person down the line. Which way are you going?
You know what? Titles aren't on the line. I'll just throw something at the wall and see if it sticks.
We'll
I
throw it.
will go with.
Do you
Now,
need
do we
a
have to pick the exact name of the person who I think that Fatal Influence is going to go? Or can I just say,
we worked it out beforehand for the actual winner of the match because we don't know who it's going to be. Your picks for the winner are going to be either Kalani Jordan or Fatal Influence.
I will go Fatal Influence then? Because basically, just because the other two aren't picked does not mean that they are not going to get involved. And Kalani Jordan's held the title for a piece of time.
I believe she
So,
was actually the inaugural champion at this point.
yeah, and I think that was around WrestleMania time or right at the beginning of the summer. So I'm like, I I can see it changing hands. So I will go with whoever is picked through Fatal Influence.
All right. Now, because of you have made the first pick, you also get your random pick of the Fatal Influence team. So let's spin that wheel. Let's make the deal on our own.
Spin that wheel. Spin that wheel.
The wheel is spinning, and Brian has for his random pick Fallon Henley.
Oh, if I was picking a name, that would have been the name that I picked. So hey, it works out.
Brilliant. I too will go for Fatal Influence. Originally, I have to admit, I was going to go for Kalani Jordan because she has been a pretty productive champion for them. She's been putting in work, good stuff all around. But something about how strong Fatal Influence has been coming out of the gate, it reads to me like they want to refresh Toxic Attraction And I feel like whoever gets the nod here is going to, depending on who it is. There's one name in particular who I think if she gets picked, has the best possible chance of taking it off of Kalani Jordan. So yeah, I'm also going to go with Fatal Influence. But whether or not the wheel gives me the person I've got in mind is another story. The wheel is
I think I
spinning,
know.
the deal is being making. Who is it? And I got my pick, JC Jane. Yeah,
Is
I'm just
that the
gonna say
name you were thinking?
it actually was. I feel like JC Jane is one of those people where she's just like she's ready to take it up to the next level. She's just like itching for it. And I think if they give her the ball, she is going to run with it and do a whole lot of really great stuff. So those are my picks. I got good luck of the draw. That brings us to Pete. It's your pick up next. What do you got?
What do I have indeed? This one, I will echo what my tag team partner said because a brilliant man who's going to win my belt soon and then give me my title shot, of course. I'm also going to go with Fatal Influence as my choice. Jordan, you've been doing great, girl, but it's time to let somebody go. Now, all I have to say to my tag team partner is spin that wheel.
I am going to spin that wheel. Wheel is spinning. We're going. Let's see who Pete gets. And he is going to land on Jasmine Nix.
Great pick. Great pick.
I have to confess something. I don't know when the last time I saw a Jasmine Nix match is, and I've been watching NXT pretty consistently lately. I just don't know. Hey, maybe
Listen,
she'll
Shawn
come out of
Michaels knows what
nowhere.
he's doing over in NXT. I have all the confidence in the Heartbreak Kid.
I'll tell you what, you in all seriousness, you really should. He's been putting in work and he's banging on all cylinders. It's great.
Let me tell you, my tag, well, you're just like HBK, my tag team partner. You're a sexy boy. Let's keep going with the show.
Laying it on thick.
Hey, the next time I win the Scholars of Wrestling Championship, keep keep buttering me up. Maybe there just might be another title shot in your future. We'll see. We'll see. But
Sky's the limit
before
for JP.
but before we get to all that, let's take care of business as usual first. Tarek, it's your pick up next. Who you got between Kalani Jordan and the next member of Fatal Influence?
I just have to say one thing first, Pete. I just I just got to say I think you got a little something on your nose there. It's something a little brown there. You need to just stop kissing Jeff's ass so much. Because
That's
it's
absolutely
starting to
ridiculous. I wipe completely well down there. Thank you.
sure, sure. I just it's hard to tell when Pete is just having his nose just so far up your ass. Uh,
Scott Tark, you're not giving us your prediction. I mean, are you scared to give us your prediction? What are you doing?
I'm gonna pick a member of Fatal Influence as well, because why the hell not? I am honestly, I'm gonna just be frank. I am so unprepared for this prediction show because I haven't been watching NXT recently. So I'm just going pretty much what everyone else is saying. And I'm just like,
He's
okay,
going. He's going exactly like me. He's throwing shit at the wall and hoping it sticks.
yeah, yeah, throwing shit at the wall that I just got off of Pete's nose. So right
Yeah,
there.
reach
Hey,
through the
All right.
screen, wipe that up a little bit. Bam!
Right, that it's like it's that scene in Airplane where shit is gonna hit the fan and it's just big clump of shit hitting a fan. So yeah, I'm also gonna pick a member of Fatal Influence
And
because
speaking of Fatal Influence, are we ready to
time to
roll?
spin that wheel.
Are you ready to
JP
spin the
prediction.
wheel? We're going for it. We're pressing the
beep,
button.
beep, beep,
We're
beep, beep, beep,
spinning the
beep, beep, beep,
wheel.
beep, beep.
He's the Vanna
We're
White of
going.
YouTube, ladies and gentlemen.
And we have yet another pick for Jasmine Nix. I'll tell you
All
what,
right,
this is going to be
who's
interesting
next?
if she actually gets picked. And
Miss
we're gonna
Nix.
be
Over here, Miss Nix.
If she gets picked, that's the only one that I can think of that hey, Kalani Jordan might walk out of here.
but there is one more wheel spin to do. We've got a random pick for Scholar Charlie, who is also going to be turning in his picks later. So for Scholar Charlie, here is
Yeah, he's waiting
your
for the.
random pick
Of course, he's doing it later.
from
He's waiting
Fatal
for the episode to
Influence.
air out. He's waiting for
And
the episode to air on YouTube so he can see what Brian's picks are
he
and just do the
also
exact
gets
same one.
JC Jane. So,
That's just how he works.
I have not met this scholar Charlie. I look forward to meeting him in my future endeavors, but
all right, be that as it may, that is the most what could possibly be the most unpredictable pick of the evening. But we're moving on to yet another chaotic and potentially very interesting match on the card. We've got in an ambulance match, we've got Andre Chase of Chase U versus Ridge Holland ambulance match. And I believe the next pick goes to me. I'm gonna go with Andre Chase here. I think Ridge Holland has a chance, but I feel like Andre Chase just came back, and that's really the only thing I've got to go on here. I have not been really following this feud in particular, but it just seems like in my mind something that they do. Pete, it's your pick up next. So you got between Andre Chase and Ridge Holland ambulance match.
it's just JP connection strikes again. I mean, it's obviously the chase machine taking this win here, coming back. You know, he's the hotness right now. He's got to continue that role. This is going to be just a fun ambulance match to watch. You know, you're gonna see some cool stuff from these guys. I'm looking very forward to it. Let me just tell you something. JP connection here, ladies and gentlemen. Drop your love in the comments because we here and we be riding all day. Scholar Tarek.
Yes, Scholar Tarek, it's your pick up next. Who do you got?
Let's see. No. I'll I'll just go Ridge Holland just to be different. I don't know. Again, this is just throwing shit on the wall and just seeing what sticks. But hey, I'm my worst predictions was actually on the last show on the AEW show. That was my worst predictions this year. So see where just throwing shit off on the wall leaves me. But hey, let's see if I can make up for that.
Looks like the mighties have fallen.
Ah, sure. Okay. Uh, Brian,
Uh, uh,
you think he's being
for
cute?
my for my,
Little man's getting a little dude
I'll
gets
tell you
one
what.
title shot and all that dude gets one title shot and all of a sudden he think
My
he's king shit.
my
Okay.
my beloved tag team partner over here of the JP connection. I must get a bit of friendly advice. Do not poke the bear. Do not poke it. I know you like the bears. I know, friend shaped. I know, but seriously, do not poke the bear. Anyway, moving on. Brian, what's your pick?
You know, I feel we need some solidarity in the crew. And really, this is 50-50 throughout. It's like, yeah, I understand that Andre Chase has just come back, but Ridge Holland likes to kill folks and likes to send them to the hospital. And it's an ambulance match. So why the hell not? Ridge Holland for the win. And you know, us undisputed scholars sitting at the top as we do, uh, need to stay in solidarity. So Ridge Holland it is.
I dig
That's
it.
just
I
the,
dig it. We got a real
that's just the
match.
thing. It's just the thing they have to accept because like we're on the point now. We're just having fun. Like them, they're trying their damnedest to make it be as serious as possible. But for us, It's just another day.
We're just hanging out
We're
at
just
the
hanging
top of the
out.
mountain, waiting for somebody to join us.
They're
And
they're
and
they're like they're trying to swing on top of the mountain, but they're just still at the bottom.
and one of them's being real loud about it. You know,
Yeah, it's at that point where it's just going, "What's your name?" And we're at the bottom, we're at the top, just looking down. What? What's your name? Tony. Fuck you, Tony. What's your
Hey, hey,
name?
what's your name? What's your name?
Ezekiel.
Hey, fuck you,
Fuck you,
Ezekiel.
Ezekiel. It's come
Never.
to this point.
Indeed, it has. And we're not even halfway through the card yet. We're already at this point.
There is no
But
halfway. It's an odd number show.
it's
We're
two and a
40% done with
half.
the show.
Two and a half. It still counts, and we're moving on to the next match, which is a tag team match. Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade versus Julia and Stephanie Vicaire. Pete, it's your next pick up. Who do you got?
We'll go with Perez.
Perez and Cora Jade?
Yep. Because, listen, I love Perez because she loves AJ Lee. And if you know anything about me, ladies and gentlemen, AJ Lee is the best female wrestler that I've ever seen. So I would like to think that her girl and CM Punk's girl is going to go over in this match. And that's just simply biased because, oh my goodness, what a great shirt you have on, my tag team partner. What a great shirt.
Thank you for noticing the most nondescript gray shirt in my wardrobe. Thank you for that.
That's
Tarek,
what the JP connection does. Get on the
Scholar,
train, choo choo.
Scholar Tarek, help me now. Make your pick, please.
Hey man, you decided to jump in that hole. You just gotta now see what's at the bottom. Uh okay. So I'm looking. I'm doing myself a little research here and seeing what. Oh, okay. So she hasn't had a undefeated streak all year. Okay. So when it comes to this match, or this tag team match, I'm also gonna go with Roxanne Perez and Corey Jade
Hmm.
because because I
Because
because I don't know
all
is I
right,
believe
all right.
they're the big name. I don't know. I'm just throwing names out.
Hey, we're throwing it all at the wall tonight, sir. I get it.
I'm trying to figure out some logical reason for my predictions. Then I'm just like,
AJ Lee.
and it's like, and I got nothing. I sure, Pete, AJ Lee.
All right. With that, Brian, it's your
Light
next
it
pick
up.
up. What do you got?
I will say Julia and Stephanie Vicaire because they are the big names that just got bought in. This is their first tag team match together, and there's no titles involved. So they win.
Yeah, honestly, I was a little confused there for a minute because that was my same line of logic. I know that Cora, in all fairness, I know that Cora Jade has also just come back from a very, very long injury. So it's not outside the realm of possibility, but still, I'm going to go with traditional wrestling logic on this one. They're treating
Yeah, you guys
Julia
are
and
probably
Stephanie
right.
Vicaire as like a very, very big deal right now. So I'm inclined to go with that line of logic. I'm also going to go with Julia and Stephanie Vicaire.
That makes the most sense, honestly. And like I said, I'm just guessing out of my ass.
But
But
again, with a lot of these things, it's also while we're talking about things that may be the most likely, it's not outside the realm of possibility either. I don't think, especially because again, when you consider that Cora Jade is just came back, and Roxanne Perez is just a really powerful force in terms of just being a champion. It's not unheard of. Anything can happen right now. But speaking of anything can happen right now, we've got in our next match Tony D'Angelo defending the NXT North American Championship against Oba Femi in a rematch, except this time it's in a tables, ladders, and scares match, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Tarek, it's your pick up next. Who do you got?
I'm gonna go with Tony D'Angelo. Didn't he just win the thing?
He did.
So
He did.
so yeah, I feel like it was just I don't see them hot potatoing the title, kind of what they've been doing with the Intercontinental Championship on Raw with Braun Breaker and Jey Uso. But yeah, I don't see them doing that same. I don't see them doing that same thing on this one. I actually think they're getting ready to bring Obi up to the main roster. Uh, so actually, no, I'll take that back. I see them giving him a world NXT title shot beforehand. But yeah, I'm gonna say Tony D'Angelo.
All right. Next pick goes to Brian. Which way going between Tony D'Angelo and Oba Femi?
See, because this is actually tougher because I actually watched NXT last week, and the storyline that they built up is that Obafemi got Nikita Lyons involved in taking out the members of the family with him. So it's like, does she get involved and all that? But it's also like, yeah, the, Tony D'Angelo won the title 2 weeks ago. It's like, are you really gonna hot potato it right back to Obafemi? I mean, like, I wouldn't be mad at it because Obafemi is awesome, but it's also, I don't think you take the title off of him in the first place if you're just gonna hot shot it right back to him. So I don't think that's the way that NXT has ever worked. So I don't think that's what they do here. I do think that Tony D'Angelo retains.
I will join you on that. And I will say, as someone who is married to an Italian, I am not a fan of Tony D'Angelo. He always came across as a cartoon for me. That being said, they clearly see something in him. And I don't like you just going around that same line of logic. I don't see him losing it right at this point. And I feel like if you were to put the North American Championship back on Obafemi, you'd just be shackling him to what they're preparing him for next. Whether that's the NXT Championship or the main roster, I don't really care too much. But yeah, I'll take this one. I'll go with it. Tony D'Angelo to win. Heat, pick is next. The pick is yours up next. Do we have an accord?
We have a fatal four, man. I'm telling you what, it's going to be Tony all day. You know how I was confirmed? Good old Monday Night Raw when good old Breaker beat good old Jay for the Intercontinental title. And plus, he's had it for, like you guys said, a couple weeks. They ain't moving it. They're just going to have a great tables, ladders, and ooga booga match. And I'm here for it.
Yes, that's exactly what we're going to be getting. Tables, chat, letters, and ooga booga.
I need all the jump scares.
And speaking of jump scares, that will bring us to our final match of the evening for the NXT Championship. In a Devil's Playground match, we've got Trick Williams defending the championship against Ethan Page. Brian, it's your final pick of the evening. Which way are you going?
Trick Williams. It's Ethan Page was fun as champion while it happened, and that promo battle that they had on NXT this week was pretty good. But I think if you're gonna give it to Trick Williams for a second time, you gotta let him actually have a legitimate run with it instead of what you did when you bought Ethan Page into the company a month after he won the title and gave it to Ethan Page. I think you need to actually let Trick run with it for a little while. So Trick to retain.
I will join you on that. Except for me, I feel like it's not really so much that he deserves a longer reign. I feel like I've got nothing specific to point to right now, but I can't shake this feeling like they're giving it to him not because he's bad in the slightest. He's not. He's very good. But I can't shake this feeling that they're priming Trick to lose to whoever the next champion is going to be. And it's going to be someone big. I don't know who, I don't know when, but I feel like they're priming Trick to be that guy. And either way, for me right now, it's going to result in a successful title defense for Trick Williams on Sunday. Pete, it's your final pick of the evening. Which way you going, my tag team partner?
JP connection always in sync. I'm going for the perfect card, and that perfect card ends with Mr. Trick. I mean, what more? You put him on the television screen, and you're just enthralled by his energy, his character, and to echo what you gentlemen have said is, you got to make it so. Make this title a meaningful title run. Or is he going to be the next Seth Rollins in Monday Night Raw or SmackDown? Like, show us why he can be that. But that is my final pick for my perfect card for Halloween Havoc.
And last but certainly not least, Scholar Tark, do we have an accord, sir?
We do. Whoop that Trick.
If nothing else, we can all agree that whoop that Trick is a really fun thing to chant.
Yes.
Although
It's
I
a-
will
Yes,
kind of say,
indeed.
I do kind of you Booker T when they do whoop that Trick, and then he does the what? Ooh.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I at that point I'm just like I was like whoop that Trick, mute. Whoop that Trick, mute. Whoop that Trick, mute. I get I was like, okay. Well, you kind of take the little fun out of it. It's different when you're there because you don't get to hear Booker.
oh please. Next, when we end up going to or SummerSlam next year, you will be shocked by how much heat. There's gonna be so much heat. You don't even know
Well, yeah,
until
it's
you've
summer.
actually
Of course,
been
there's going to be that much heat.
yeet with a capital Y.
Oh, yeet.
Yes, yeet. So many people in the
The only
crowd
one that actually?
yeeting.
Am I really the only one who heard heat?
Crickets.
No response, so I guess that means a yes.
Mm.
It's okay. Either way, you'll all see it for yourself. But in any event, that is our picks for NXT Halloween Havoc 2024. And with that, now is the time when we turn it over to you, our fellow fans. Who is walking away with a victory on Halloween Havoc? Who from the not fatal attraction is going to be making an appearance? Who's going to be actually beating the match? And this is going to result in a victory. Any other surprises to come? No matter what you think, let us know all across the internet, including in the YouTube comments, Facebook posts, and you can also join in the conversation yourself directly with us on Twitter/X/ whatever the hell you want to call that thing now. Scholar Tark, where can he reach you?
You can reach me at the Avatar.
And Scholar Brian, where can he reach you, champ?
You can reach me sitting on top of that mountaintop at Atomic Beanpole.
And Scholar Pete, my tag team partner with the most, where can he reach you?
They can reach me and knocking Scholar Brian off that mountain again, soon to be at Improv Pete.
And I'm just gonna be chilling in whatever I'm doing and whoever I'm doing it with at I'm Robbie Rage. In the meantime, get settled in for some Halloween Havoc. If you're watching it closer to the actual day, have a very happy Halloween. We know we will, but you know we always will because you know who we are. We are the Scholars of Wrestling, and you have just been schooled. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
See you all at Halloween Havoc.